You are watching XS LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 3rd, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.xslaportecounty.org.
Okay, I'd like to call the LaPorte County Park Board meeting for December 3rd to order. Can we have a roll call?
Amanda is here.
I'm here.
Mike.
Here.
Mary Nell.
Here.
Nick.
Here.
Jim.
Here.
Ron.
Here.
And Mary. Here.
Okay, let's all stand and sit. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Can I have any discussion on the agenda for today? Not hearing any. Can I have a motion to accept the agenda as written? In a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Any questions about the minutes from last meeting?
I wanted to mention something in here, and I don't know how it was said, but I wanted to say, and I think she put it in there, is that Jeremy and the auditor's office have been working hard to keep up with all the, under new business, both the auditor's office and Jeremy have been working hard, working to make sure all the spending is being done correctly, and I wanted to make sure Kathy was also mentioned in it, because this is not just me and the auditor's office, so I read that and I was like, no, that isn't quite, if that's what I said, I want to make sure Kathy was included in that, but you don't have to make any changes, I just wanted to.
Let's make sure that's known.
Yeah, make sure it's known that I wasn't leaving her out, because I may be responsible for it all, but I'm dragging her into this with me.
Okay. For good reason, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written? So moved. And a second? I'll second that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, now we're ready for some public comment.
Okay, that's me first. Hi, I'm Valerie Wallace. I'm the poet laureate of LaPorte County. And I wanted to tell you guys about an initiative that's mostly in my head right now, but I've talked to a few groups around the county and including Jeremy, who have expressed interest. So I wanted to see if you guys would be interested in it, which is ultimately about 100 benches, existing benches around the county will have a little QR code, also in Braille, and whoever's sitting there can listen to a poem or read a poem. And I'm not trying to get in anyone's coffers, so I'm planning to get grants. And there's a big grant that I don't want to put all my eggs in through the Academy of American Poets. So I'm also going to seek funding locally. And you don't have to decide anything today, but if you want to participate, I'd be asking you to identify the benches you want and, promote, show your interest and help me write the grant by providing a letter of support. So, just saying why you think it's great. And and so the idea is also that you guys would have then an app that you could share with the people that come use the parks or on your mailing list, and a website, and you'd have your own sort of color-coded tour. I don't know if anyone's going to want to really go to all 100, but maybe if they're in one park or another, they'd be like, oh look, there are 3 of them in this park, let's go listen to some more. And the poems will be from local poets as well as other Indiana poets, but also I know a few poets, being one myself, so I'm going to solicit some poetry. It'll be family friendly, but I want to have some topics that I'll ask for. Like if there's a bench near a basketball court, I think it'd be good to have a basketball poem. If there's a bench near a river, of course, water, why not? But so you can let me know. I would give you a questionnaire, like what kinds of topics you might want. We can get as detailed as you want, or you can be hands off if you want. But that's the gist of it.
So, yeah, we had discussed, Valerie and I started this discussion, we have benches that are in memorial of people and things like that, and I was thinking we could probably contact some of those family members, because we have contact, if we decided that's a good place or whatever for a bench, for this, to put a poem link or a QR code on there, and ask them, would it be okay if we did this on your bench, or is there a poem, maybe a particular poem that family member that it's a memorial of might have liked, or something like that.
There are lots of poems now in the public domain, and so we could also have someone read a poem that they really like.
Yeah, so there's lots of ideas and ways this could go, but.
And some of the benches in this park are in very wonderful spots that are, they lead you to some reflection. And so I could see that there would be some poems that could add to that reflection and the quiet and calm of the park. So yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
would the board want to, have me draft a letter of support when she needs it? Make a vote or?
Yes, why don't we do that?
I think it promotes what we're trying to achieve in that, bringing people the peaceful setting and just making sure that. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot to tell you one more thing. I'm totally open to any kind of marketing ideas, but one I had, which is not that original, I guess, but to have a bookmark with everybody's logos on it who's participating, so that tourists and anybody can find out more about it, when they stop in the office or whatever.
That is
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the timeline of when you'll be starting and ending?
Yeah, we're starting to write our grants in January or February, and then the ones I'm looking at as well are due in April and March. So I'm hoping to have grant money to cover this for 2 years or through 2026, and then if you want to continue it, the whole management of the app and the coding and all of that is $50 a month, but it would continue at least through 2026.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so it sounds like we need a motion to allow Jeremy to write a letter of support for this project.
So moved.
All right, can I have a second, Mary?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I say,
Aye.
so we'll
I'm
write a
all
letter.
about this. This is great.
Jeremy will be the one that'll probably coordinate with you for a letter of support.
Thank you very much. Wallace.
There's the-
And do you want me to email you that?
Yeah, that's fine.
People who are living
Yeah.
in the virtual meeting?
Yeah, she gave us a handout, Nell and Amanda, and I'll email those to you. But yeah, just kind of outlining her ideas and thoughts on it. So. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I guess there is a presentation. I forgot. You asked that earlier before we started.
Good evening. My name is David Sid. I'm a member of the Stark County Park Board. We're a little bit smaller than you. But the reason I'm here is to talk about the defining feature of both of our counties, which is our 21.5-mile shared border on Yankee River. Kayaking is one of the most popular recreational activities worldwide because of the accessibility and the sense of adventure it provides. And it can provide an adventure for casual paddlers that are just looking for a little bit of relaxation or something to do, look at nature, all the way to enthusiasts that are navigating turbulent rapids. In the United States, kayaking has seen a surge in popularity in recent decades, particularly in regions with abundant waterways such as our two counties. In our areas, we've got Kankakee, Yellow, and Tippecanoe rivers, along with the Dunes National Park up in Muir County. Multiple communities in Northwest Indiana have embraced kayaking as a way for outdoor recreation and tourism. Events such as guided eco tours and paddle races will attract visitors and highlight the region's natural beauty. Businesses such as pad rental services and outfitters will help grow the economy. What I'm specifically wanting to discuss, I'm not looking for motion or anything like that, just to plant the idea, is for a kayak launch at a location called Davis, near Davis Wesleyan Church on 1500 South, 600 North, depending on which side of the line you're on, which is located at River Mile 110.1 on Kankakee. The reason the launch is needed there is because it's halfway between the Neanderlands at US 35, River Mile 116.2, and the DNR property at State Road 8, Mile 104.7. So it makes for a nice 6 to 7 mile paddle, which can be done in about 2 hours if you're getting after it, or 3 hours if you're just relaxing. The reason that launch is specifically needed at Davis is because the river is about 20 feet down from the bridge, and underneath the bridge is riprap, which is fist-sized rocks. Picture walking on fist-sized rocks that's semi-loose, covered in algae, and slick and steep, and trying to drag your boat up or down. More than once I've almost fallen there. My friends Sean and Stacey McGinnis, that also kayak with me, we've all been there, we've all almost fallen and hurting ourselves. Farther on down from State Road 8, Stark County has demonstrated our commitment to kayaking because we just finished our new English Lake launch, which I have pictures of later in the presentation or on the board here. That's at mile 99.3, so just 5 miles down from SR8. And at mile 97.8 is the LaPorte County campsite, which I'm still looking to explore next year. Beyond that is Dunn's Bridge, located at mile 90.8. And all of these locations, when added together, make up 26 miles of river in 6 to 7 mile reasonable chunks. So you can go out for a couple hours, you don't have to spend the entire day, it's not a huge commitment of time. Potential funding sources for a launch there would be the Stark County or LaPorte County Community Foundations, the Stark County Convention Visitors Commission, or its LaPorte County partner, the LaPorte County Convention Visitors Bureau, which both organizations manage innkeeper's tax, which is specifically to promote tourism. Other sources could be the VFW, American Legion, the Rotary, Lions Clubs. DNR has multiple grants. The largest one is the Kankakee River, Yellow River Basin Commission, which funded our English Lake launch and is also funding a launch that we're putting in on State Road 23 at the Yellow River, which is a large 1.5 acre site that we're just now acquiring, which we hope to start on this summer. You can also look for community support, any kind of contributions, donated labor, materials, equipment, the Northwest Indiana Paddlers Association, Prairie Trails Club. Something we did in Stark County, we built a Veterans Plaza on the courthouse grounds using all donated labor and all donated funds, so there were no county funds used in that project at all. In closing, I'd just like to thank you for your time. I'm not asking for a motion or a commitment of any kind, but if you're interested, I would like you to stay in contact with me. On the last 2 pages, I've got some pictures. Image number 1 is from the Stark County side, looking across the river at a location that's fairly shallow, that is owned by the LaPorte County government. So you would not require property for that. Image 2 is looking back towards the Stark County side. Image 3 is just a close-up of that same location. On the last page are the lake. This is our new launch we just put into English Lake, which is co-located on the DNR property. And on the maps page, I've got an overall view of the Kankakee and the Yellow River, showing the multiple different sites. I've highlighted specifically US 35, Davis, SR8, the LaPorte County campsite, and English Lake facilities. So you can see how they're really pretty evenly spaced. And then I've got a detailed map of Davis, and interestingly enough, LaPorte County owns property on both sides of the river. I found that out when I was looking at our geographics map. So we would really like to work with you if my board decides to go forward with this project. So realistically tonight, I'm just looking to give you information, plan the idea, and maybe see if we can go somewhere with it. Thank you. Any questions?
It sounds like our planning committee might be a good,
It's a lot of, yeah, it's a lot of
good to get involved.
digest right now.
Get a few more little details and maybe get some ideas and see where we are with that.
Do you have any kind of idea what the cost was of the
Our English Lake facility is $50,000,
50,000?
but a lot of people feel that was a little overinflated, and we think we could do more with the same money or do the same for less money.
And it does, I can't imagine with the river, the way it fluctuates, that you can do like an accessible, handicap accessible.
There are possibilities, but that raises the cost a lot.
Right.
Are you familiar with Opportunity Enterprises out of Valparaiso? Their handicap facilities, they got a facility at Lake Eliza, which my company mows, so I see it every week. It's a really nice floating handicap accessible kayak ramp. Just the floating dock and the access is about $30,000. And that is no site prep at all.
And I would imagine the logistics of as much as that river fluctuated, it wouldn't just be you put it out there and it floats, you know.
In theory, it might be possible to require engineering,
Yeah.
the Army involved. You never have to be involved anyway, but to do more of an involvement with them.
Okay.
But it's something to explore. I wouldn't say no.
So, you want to push this over into the planning?
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate, and if there's anything else anybody else has an interest in to help with, that would be wonderful, at least in the planning stages, or the investigation stages, and then see where it may go. But it sounds like a great idea. That is one of the issues that I have with kayaking or canoeing. The key is you put in at English Lake, and you're either climbing up rocks at 421 or you're going all the way to Dunn's Bridge. And if you don't have the time and or little kids with you, the long option is hard, and the first option, which is shorter, is almost impossible with kids.
SR8 to English Lake is about 2.5 hours. Meanderland's just 35 to Davis is 2 hours if you're paddling hard, 3 hours if you're floating nice and easy. The nice thing about Kank is it does float pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's never too shallow to float on, unlike the Yellow River. There's a section that's gorgeous on the Yellow River that if it goes down just 4 inches, you can't float. It's too shallow.
Okay.
I'll be making the same presentation my own board next Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the Stark County Annex number 1. If anybody would like to join, you're welcome to come visit us.
When did you say that was?
6 o'clock next Tuesday, Stark County Annex number 1.
Is it Central or East or?
Central.
Central, okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you all. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, very good. Hearing none, we will go to the financial report. Does anybody have any questions on the financials?
I did want to say that I recently requested to transfer some funds from the park board. On the top there, the park board members account to the seasonal account, because we'll have some other.
Okay.
And we're going to be running it really close. So I requested to transfer $2,000 from that to the other payroll account for seasonals.
End of the year?
Yeah, to get us through the year. And that's something we've done the past several years, used that to shore up wherever else, because we've had some staffing changes, and so we needed a little money in programs or whatever. So anyway, that's the only major transfer we've done recently.
Well, just for the record, I think you can do an amazing job of keeping things going in the financial department. It's a lot of juggling. It's a lot of juggling, for sure.
Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy,
Thanks, Kathy.
We have our, there's a lot to it, that's all I can say.
We appreciate all of
And
our,
there was a lot of accounts created this year in particular. They created a lot of different accounts, non-diverting and things like that. So it has been a little more challenging.
they have more requirements of
Yeah.
how we do things, so
Yeah.
that's good. It keeps us fiscally responsible, so I like
Yep.
that. That's a good thing. So can I have a motion to approve the financial report as written?
So moved.
Okay, in a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor? Ayes have it. Okay, Jeremy?
Yeah, so you saw the admin report, but I've got several bullet items here I wanted to mention. The Bloom expansion project update. So we are now owners of that 43 acres or whatever. I did contact the DNR just to get an update from them as to where we were, and I just wanted to read a little bit of stuff to you here that they sent me. They met on November 6th, they met with their design engineers for additional stream design and mapping of the new stream channel that's going to reroute that ditch. That while they were there, they marked GPS locations of mature trees that we determined the project would be redesigned to avoid. So they are taking into account, hey, we want to try to avoid these bigger trees, more mature trees that are a little more valuable to the forest. They're at about, they're finalizing their 30% design, estimating it to be completed in December to early January. And they would potentially have a 60% design completion close to April, but that could obviously depend on what they run into. Other updates, archaeological survey and field work. As of October 1st, all archaeological work's been completed. So they're waiting on, they've submitted that for approval. And then lastly, in the near future, Indiana Swamp, which is a stream wetland mitigation program, I think that's the name of the DNR agency that's doing this, would like to request a meeting to discuss the preliminary design before proceeding with further design. So Swamp would like to discuss any concerns the county board may have as soon as we have a preliminary design completed. So they're going to be requesting from us, from the board, a meeting so that we can see that preliminary design and we can say, hey, we have our questions up front so they don't go further in design and then they have to go back and start from scratch. So yeah, that's where we're at on that.
Will they come to a county board meeting, or will it be a separate meeting?
I think they're probably gonna want to come to a separate meeting, or but I do want them to come and present once they get a little further into the design. I think having them come and present at a board meeting would be a good thing. And I told them that up front, is that I really would like them to come and maybe even do a public meeting at some point, just to allow public to come and see what we're doing and see what they're doing, I guess. But it's on our property now, so yeah.
And I can't imagine it'd be controversial. It's a cornfield that's going to be turned into wetlands.
Right, but the only part that I can see is some people saying was controversial is that stream going through the woods, because that is a very beautiful wildflower area, and there will be a little bit of collateral damage, but in the long run, I think you're going to see that it's a huge benefit to have that stream flowing instead of that channelized ditch going through our woods. Okay, it's gonna, but I want them to be able to explain that and show people how that's gonna make sense. That you're gonna have a little bit of damage, but in the long run, we're gonna be hopefully better.
Is there a target date for completion, roughly?
I'm gonna say no, not yet, but I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a couple of years at least. I mean, it's a pretty major construction, and the wetland, I haven't even heard them talk about the actual wetland design yet as far as that, so. Probably a good year for design and construction the following, but.
Okay.
Next, the Rolling Prairie property update. Got a roof put on the little building there. The county paid for a roof to be put on there. They're meeting with consultants and, about the master plan for that property, and just waiting on design, or not design, but proposals from them to present to probably the planning committee and see what we can come up with for that. Trails master plan, there's a public meeting. There should be a flyer in your packet. Tuesday, December 17th, from 5:30 to 7 here at Red Mill. We're going to have a public meeting if you want to have input on the trails master plan that we have going on. So yeah, Tuesday, December 17th at 5:30. Please come and give some input if you have input on the trails master plan, or if you just want to hear what's going on. Electric vehicle grant update. We are anxiously awaiting those 2 new trucks. It is looking like it's going to be spring probably before we get them. Been talking to Ford about the chargers and all of that kind of stuff to kind of get prepped for that. But things are, as far as I know from the Ford dealer, things are moving along. And then a solar panel grant for Canada Lodge roof. This kind of came up that a previous employee or consultant that was working for the county for economic development him and I had talked about this possibility of, there was a grant for energy efficiency grant, it was called, and I had mentioned that, yeah, I would love to see us get, solar panels on this roof to try to help us. Well, apparently he put us in for it, and we made it past the pre-approval stage or whatever, and then just had to finish up the application and send in. It was about a $73,000 or $4,000 grant, and it sounds like we pretty much are very likely to get that money. Nice. And it's 100% reimbursement. Nice. So went to the county council, got their approval to basically, if we get the grant, to pay for it up front, and then we would get reimbursed. So still working through the specifics and making sure we even get approved for the grant, but it's looking really good. And I think the biggest thing, we put this new metal roof on, standing seam roof, and the way those work is they just clamp onto those seams, so it's not like you're putting holes in your roof and all that kind of stuff. So, we were hoping that we were putting this on in preparation for solar panels, but it looks like it may very well happen. So,
very good. Okay. Any other questions for Jeremy? Construction and maintenance report. Everybody have a chance to look at that? You just have such a good crew here.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, things obviously, you think they're slowing down for those maintenance guy crew, but it really doesn't, because there's plenty to do, and maintenance on your equipment that you used all summer. Get down to that program report, they put a really good called Local Flavors dinner on here. I came and helped them do that, and it was great. We had 30 tickets we sold, and we sold them all, but 30 or 25 people. It was on that first kind of slushy, rainy, icy night we had, and only 25, I say only, but 25 people showed up. They went up for seconds. They were enjoying all the food and really interesting food that they did. And they also did a program at Lure that was wagon ride and kind of a fall type thing, and they estimated, they were counting for a while, but they estimated 400 to 500 people came to that. It was nuts. The parking lots, they were parked all over everything and in the grass, and so I think, you know, the hay rides and the campfires and, you know, provide, you know, some s'mores and stuff like that. I think people are just really enjoying the fact that it's a great, affordable thing they can do. We didn't charge anything for that, and lots of people showed up. Now we have the reindeer coming in, you know, December, actually next week. So watch for that, but I think that's going to be another big event at the library that we're doing, and some of those programs are going to really draw in people. Yeah, so.
And as a little comment on the flavors dinner, local flavors dinner, one of my coworkers went to that, and she just couldn't stop talking about it. She said, I don't know why people don't do that. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I learned so much, and the food was delicious, and you just, yeah, she was just really impressed.
Both of the program staff worked really hard. Lacey did, I think, all of the cooking, and she knocked it out of the park for the first time. And, you know, first time of doing an event, and I did her last one, so it was really good.
Yeah, we should be very proud of our staff for sure.
Yeah.
And the next one is the park counts. I think, did I say there were 20,000 more visitors so far?
Yeah, it's up. I mean, it's been up. It's amazing how the numbers just keep going. And we actually put not that it'll make a huge difference, but we actually got a new counter. We had to get a new counter for the south gate because it went out on us. But then, so I ordered one for Seabrook Woods as well, which I've been wanting to do anyway. So, you know, you're not going to see big numbers at Seabrook Woods, but hey, you know, at least now we'll know how many people are going,
right,
and that kind of thing. So one of the other things I think that I wanted to mention too under superintendent's report is, speaking of Seabrook Woods, I met with Derek Nimitz from the Nature Preserves, Division of Nature Preserves. I think somebody may went on a hike with him and told us about some of the plants on the property and stuff, and we were talking about some management we might want to do for resource management there. And one of them was to go in and remove some of the young beech trees that are starting to kind of take over, because beech maple forest is kind of your end result here in Indiana. And if we allow those beech to take over, a lot of those species that makes that property so special is going to be kind of, they're going to diminish. The paper birch and the ground ivies and ground pines and stuff are going to disappear because they get shaded out, and it's just the way it happens. So we came up with an idea, and we want to do this in February. We're calling it Beach Day in February. And, you know, because we have the beach there with the sand, you know, like the sandy area, and, but we're going to have, you know, chili and some different things to try to entice people to come in and help us remove some of those beech trees, make some brush piles and that kind of thing. And so it's a volunteer effort. We're going to try, see if we can get people to show up, and
that'll be in February.
Make it, it'll be in February. It's on our new calendar of events. If you go to our website, I don't have that right in front of me, but it's I think it might be that first weekend in February on Saturday. And we'll plan on being kind of an all-day thing. People can kind of come and go as they please, help us out where they can, and then we'll have some you know, like I said, beach day. We're trying to be creative with how we're doing that, and some non-alcoholic mocktails out there, and that kind of thing. So
that sounds good.
Yeah,
you can have that gum. Don't they have beach gum?
Yeah. So
nice of that.
But yeah, look for that on the website.
Okay.
We'll be publicizing that here when we get closer, but I think it'll be a fun event. You know.
I thought she had misspelled beach.
Yes, beach is spelled differently.
Yeah.
You know, but
I'm the grammarian, and I was about ready to type her up. You spelled beach wrong. I'm like, oh no, it's beach. Okay.
So,
there's a big sand pit out there too.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to set up kind of shop for the beach day. You know, but.
Okay, very good. Any other questions for Jeremy on maintenance and park stuff? Okay, let's go to the standing committee reports. Executive committee does not have a report. Budget committee?
Nothing to report.
Nothing at this time, okay. And personnel committee?
Yeah, so every year we do the superintendent's evaluation, so you should have received an email today from me with an evaluation, an anonymous and confidential survey to fill out and give your suggestions or positive or negative about Jeremy. So if you could do that in the next 2 weeks, so we could give him his evaluation before the end of the year. And then election of officers, if you're interested in running for an office for 2025, let Nick or I know. And Ron and Amanda, your seats are coming up this year, so we'll be working with your those who nominated you to see if they want to do for this year or next year.
So the new council and commission members, which is who you two are appointed by, will be in January. So we'll just wait until then and have you contact them, and I can contact them too. And,
okay.
Just let them know. A lot of times, if they know that they have appointments to boards, but they don't know that they have somebody there. The new people wouldn't know they already have somebody there who's active and participating, right? So, having the department head let them know that this person is very active and shows up, and then also having you contact them and say, I would, like to. It is their appointment. I really have nothing to do with it other than they sometimes say, well, they show up, those kind of things. But so yeah, it's they want to see the interest from you and get their opinions as well sometimes. So
okay. Property committee.
No report.
Okay. Planning committee? Mary?
Yeah, we just have on there the future of the health cabinet. We haven't really made a decision on that, but we don't have to right away. But I think it's just something we need to keep on there. And when we decide it's time to make a decision, I think everybody's kind of seen it and understands and has had the report from the planning committee.
Right. So not in very good shape.
Yeah.
So. Okay, and the next is the Rules Committee with the discussion of the fees for 2025.
There's a handout in the packet, and this was made up by me. The Rules Committee hasn't really, we haven't really discussed this yet. I think it's something that I would prefer everybody go over, look at, take some time to think about. We've talked about the fact that probably before long we're going to have to eliminate that, caretaker's position, so that cost is going to be higher. This kind of gives you some of our costs that we have coming up in the next couple of years. We could make up some of that extra cost and maybe even pay for some more seasonal help out of that to help, and that's kind of where I'm headed. If you look at my estimates here and my information, I talked to Mark Schreiber over at the City Parks and their Cummins Lodge, which in my opinion, this is a nicer facility. I mean, they have the beach, they have stuff right there next to it that we don't have, but this is, in my opinion, this is a much nicer facility than that, right? And they're charging $375 for that, and we're at $285. Now,
This is larger, more modern. The facilities are much better equipped.
Now, I'm not saying we have to be higher than them or have to be anything, but I'm saying they have been basically raising their rates almost every year since COVID, and he said they'd be going up again this year. So I don't see how we can look at that and say, we can't raise it. But that was just for background, but I also don't want to raise it $100 at a time when we're at $285. You're talking a 30-some% increase, and that's a lot. And people say, whoa, so just thoughts. Go ahead, Nick.
I think these are very modest increases.
I think so.
And I think very affordable if someone's looking for a place. I think these are well within line.
But, I mean, if everybody would like to look them over a little better and vote on it next meeting, I think that, our next meeting is in February. Well, we haven't voted.
I think it's the
But probably would be February.
February
so,
4th, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think these are very reasonable. Yes, I do.
So that was just the Rules Committee report, and I kind of took that over, but we have it listed on the new business, and if somebody wants to make a motion later as far as voting on it now or tabling it and voting on it later, that's up to you.
So is there a consensus that this sounds reasonable, or, because I don't know that
Yeah,
we need to wait.
I agree. I think they sound very modest. The only one is the Lion Shelter at $82.50. You know, why not 85 or 90?
Yeah, I mean,
The 50 cents.
it kind of, we got to kind of figure in how the tax would work on that to make it an even number, and that's.
Oh, okay.
That's why, it's sometimes hard to get that exactly even, you know, but we can, if you know. I'll tell you what's funny, Marinelle, is that, you know, we really tried to keep them even before because we didn't accept credit cards, but now that we accept credit cards, I'm saying 70% of the people, probably at least 70% use credit card, even though there's a fee involved with it. So for us, it's not as big of an issue as it used to be.
Yeah.
But
Okay, good. That's good to hear. Okay.
And you have to pay the fee on the credit card, where a lot of establishments now are actually charging extra for that.
we do. We charge extra.
Okay.
They pay that fee.
The 3%?
It just depends. It's variable depending on, I think.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think it's the type of card you had, maybe your credit, maybe your, I don't know, but sometimes it's anywhere from $2 to.
It's usually about 1%, but I have seen them a lot more than that, so I wonder if some banks don't include the credit rating on it somehow, I don't know. We haven't figured it out.
Yeah, but we always warn them before we hit the button, here's what it's gonna be, is that okay? And I don't think, we've had one or
We've
two.
had a few say no.
I know a lot of places charge a flat fee, just, you know,
Yeah.
3% more or,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so.
So I would think that 85, as Mary said, would be an easier number to, you know, have them look at.
For the Lions?
Right. Because all the rest of them are even numbers or
Okay.
odd numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we could just
Makes
go
no
to,
sense.
Whole dollar numbers.
Whole dollar numbers, yeah.
yeah, we could just take that up to 85, and that'd be fine.
So do we want to vote on that now? Is that the consensus?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. If we have two more people say I'm ready, then we're.
I'm ready.
Let's vote on it.
Can I have a motion to accept the fee changes with the correction of the Lions Shelter increasing to $85?
I do have one comment for down at the bottom, talk about the other fees. So that, to be clear, we're going to keep the dog park fees the same, no increase to that at all.
Yeah, I mean,
That would
And
be
look-
super hard to police.
yeah, and my main reasoning for that is because I feel like when we raise that, if we don't police it, you're just gonna get people saying, you know what?
Sure.
They don't, you know, I have been in the spring making an attempt to go out there and really start hitting people up, saying, hey, you got your tags, and make sure they have the thing, but all year long, we just can't,
Can't have somebody stationed.
no, I mean, there's not enough money made there, and, you know, without doing a key fob, I think, you know, but those I've looked into them recently, and they're just super expensive, you know, so maybe down the road, but I think keeping it low where people are willing to pay makes sense.
Yes.
But thank you for bringing that up.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the fee schedule with the edit to $85 for Lion Shelter?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Thank you. And we do, you know, on the fees, while we're on that real quick, you know, we do charge for some of our programs, but we are, as you guys know, and I've said all along, we try to keep those as affordable, if not free, to almost everybody we can. Park Foundation has started paying for, s'mores and, supplies for food and stuff like that, and we're trying to make it to where we get donations in and we're paying for itself. But, I think people are really appreciating the fact that they're free or really cheap. We did that dinner the other night for $10 a person. Paid for itself. We didn't have to, everything was, we didn't have to spend a bunch of money out of our pockets to do it. But I think we're very modest on all of our pricing, I think, and especially our programs. But I think by raising these a little bit, that helps out as well with the programs too. So,
Do we have anybody that's already booked after
Oh, yeah.
January 1?
oh yeah.
So will there be an increase or?
No, they'll just they got in before they were ready. So, yeah, I mean, I think our June
Yeah,
is
June's
booked.
practically
Yeah.
booked solid and
Yeah,
into
I
July.
mean, it's, and that's part of that is because we're cheap,
Inexpensive.
Yeah, inexpensive.
Great value.
Yes, great. And I think we still are. We're not,
No,
trademark.
you're not outlining.
no, at all. So, thank you for that note, though. We'll get that change made.
Okay, I don't see anything under old business. New business, the proposed meeting dates for 2025.
We should have had that a while back and sent those out, so I think those are kind of been verified and made sure they weren't on a holiday or something silly or something like that, but, so.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the meeting dates as listed on the page here for 2025?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Ayes have it. And we already,
I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that I will not be able to make the February meeting, and I'm going to be away in February, and I'm sorry I'm going to miss the Stewart Woods Beach Day as well, but just FYI.
Okay.
well, good thing we voted on the fee increase. Okay. Board and staff comments.
We're having our Christmas, the staff and
The
board
12th.
Christmas party on the 12th.
Yeah.
Is it the 12th? Yeah.
It is.
Is it 11:30?
It's at 11.
11. Yeah, so,
Okay. Unfortunately, is that going to be here?
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been working full-time. I might have to go back to retirement
Yeah.
soon.
So,
You were retired.
I know, I'm
If
very
you're-
tired again, so.
if you're around and available, please come.
Okay, very good. Any other comments?
Well, yeah, I gotta say something about the birds, so hope everyone can make it down to Jasper Pulaski. The DNR reported today there are 20,000 sandhill cranes there.
Wow, that's amazing. So did they anticipate how long they're going to be in the area?
Probably the end of December,
End of
but
December?
this is their peak.
Okay,
As long as we don't get a huge snow or something, probably,
Yeah.
that will push them out.
okay. Very good. Any other comments? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned. We'll see you in February 4th, those that can make it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep.